Guys, beef prices is astronomical right now. And if you're like me, you're looking for alternatives to, say, a ribeye, a filet, that kind of thing. Grilling season's coming up, and man, we're trying to stretch $1 because, well, $1's tight. Today, friends, I'm gonna show you what you can use in lieu of a ribeye, and it tastes just as good. Let's go. So let me introduce you to some friends of mine. Old Mr. Chuck Eye Steak. Yes, the old Chuck Eye Steak. I know what you're saying, Hussey, if this is from the Chuck Rose, this thing's gonna be tougher than shoe leather. Nope, not so fast, friends. This right here is pretty much a ribeye. Now, depending on the cut, because there's a few muscles in here on these Chuck Eye Steaks, but they're still pretty tender. And what this is it butts right up to the ribeye, to the rib section of the cow. If you can get that first cut from that chuck, that, my friends, is a delicacy. But they sit right up next to that ribeye, and sometimes you'll have that ribeye cap, which is right there, which is very tender. It's that, you got that eye of the ribeye, and around it is that spinalis. Woohoo, that's some good groceries. But is it still as tender as a ribeye? Well, we shall see. And we're gonna cook them today. There is another alternative. That is Mr. Denver steak. The Denver steak is not from the upper part where it meets the ribeye. It is from like under the shoulder blade of the cow. And it is too supposed to be very tender. We'll see. I'm gonna cook it as well, just so you can kind of get your own bearings. But I hear the chuck eye is the cat's meow. We'll see. People's always saying, Hussey, you need to do a chuck eye. Hussey, you need to do a chuck eye. Well, by golly, we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do it today, friends. So I think the Denver steak is kind of in pieces. It kind of, like I said, it's right up under the blade, and it just kind of does this. And I think that's the reason why it comes in little weird pieces. All right, we're not gonna do anything special to these. We're just gonna season them up just like we always do. We're not gonna try to church these up. We're not gonna try to sous vide them, nothing like that. We're just gonna fix them just as an everyday steak. First things first, get your griddle pre-warmed. I got it on a low temperature right now. We do want to get this up in temperature. We're not quite there yet, but right now, nice and low will be just fine. You're probably wondering, what you gonna season this up with, Hussey? I'm glad you asked. We're gonna do none other than Hussey's Heifer Dust, asked for by name, often imitated, never duplicated. It's award-winning also. That's facts. That is facts. Give it a good little dash of heifer dust. Just use whatever favorite seasoning you want. I'm not gonna hold you to it. These are big and they're thick, and I'm gonna give them a good little coating. This thing right here just looks so good. This one right here, right there. Whew. But we shall see. We gotta keep these separate. This Denver steak's got a nice marble to it, nice marbling all through there. It's been a while since I've had, I don't know when the last time I had a chuck eye. Maybe I never have. Denver steak, I had one a while back at like a restaurant. I don't think I've ever cooked any myself that I know. All right, we got these seasoned up well. Got chuck eyes over here, got old Denver over here. We're just gonna let these kind of hang out for just a little while. We'll come right back. So while we're letting those rest, now's a great time to talk about meat temperature and also griddle temperatures whenever you're doing these kinds of cooks. I have a nice reference. I have a free reference. You can go download it on my website, or if you want something right onto your griddle, just like I do, there is a magnet right there. Tells you exactly what rare is, what medium rare is, and you basically just need an instant read thermometer, such as this one right here. Make your reference, put your probe in, read it. If it's there, your money. So, and then the griddle temperature too tells you about where your knobs need to be for whatever you're cooking. It's a great reference. Head on over to my website. If you want the free version, download the free version. It's great. You can laminate it. It's a bigger copy. These are 5x5s, so I made them small enough so that it will fit onto your griddle and not take up a lot of space. Please don't leave me a bad review saying it's too small. Get the free version, print it off, laminate it, and have it, all right? I appreciate you. Now, back to the chuck eye and Denver steaks. All right, so I'm going to increase my knobs up to a high temperature, medium high, around in that area. We want a nice hot griddle. Our reference chart says high, and we're going medium rare here. We're going to look for an internal of around 130 degrees, okay? Now, it's a good idea for thick pieces to kind of pull your meat off, maybe a little early, maybe around a 125, and it'll kind of creep up in temperature. Going to put this is our chuck eyes right onto the griddle. Want to make sure we press down, smelling some really good notes of that heifer dust. It's really good on beef, it's good on chicken, it's good on pork. There's also some chicken dust. Just want to press down on that. And remember, this is how we cook steak. If you haven't yet known, we flip them often. And that's to cook your steak evenly and it won't gray band on you. As we said before, Want to take and just kind of rotate that around. And we're gonna give it a flip. Spend about a minute, maybe a little bit less. Just kind of move that around onto your griddle. And we're gonna flip. Already got a nice crust going right there. All right, our Denver steak. Oh, Denver. Put them right there. All right, spend about a minute. Move that steak around. I'm gonna try to put it in a different spot just because this spot right here is gonna have a little bit of thermal shock, okay? Move this around, flipper. I can tell just by my way my pigtail flipper's going in. Pretty tender. Nice crust forming. Also, the idea here is we're just flipping it about every 45 seconds, moving it around on the griddle, just like we always do, just to build that crust and cook it nice and evenly from both sides. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and give us a measure. We're at 98 degrees. On this chuck eye, I've got 108 right there, 110, so we're about there. 120, this one right here might be a good one. It is super, super tender. My probe's going in very easily. All right. I like the way that looks. Nice color. Let's put that over on our cutting board. Chuck eye right there. Let's see where our Denver steaks are. 113 degrees. Yep. About 110 to 113. That one's at 115. So just a little while longer on those two. Whew, that one right there was 111. Okay. I do highly suggest you get an instant read thermometer. This right here has an infrared built in. This is just a little bit more expensive model, but invest in one of these. Don't have to be this one. They got cheaper ones. Just get one. 120 right here. All right, some of these are probing out. Ooh, you might want a little heavy, especially on that eye. Other chuck eyes ready. All right. I think these Denver steaks, they're ready as well. I'll let those rest for a little bit. All right, guys, our steaks have rested. It is time to try these groceries. I wanna try the chuck eye steak first. And this one right here is just super, super tender. You do have to be careful. I'm just wanting to make sure I'm gonna slice against the grain, which is going to result in a nice tender bite. Let's see what we got here. My knife is going through it just so easy. I didn't do any kind of butter compound or anything like that. Let's see what we got. Woo. Look at that, y'all. That ain't nothing but good groceries right there, y'all. Let's try it. It's beefy. It's tender. That was really good. Now that was just kind of like a whoop. Go ahead. Oh, good. I would say tenderness. It's pretty close. I'm gonna take this big one. It's kind of big piece right here. Just see where we're at. Look at that. It ain't half bad. Again, against the grain. Plenty of juice. Oh, heifer dust just works on a dang steak. Oh man, that's a good piece right there. Wow, that's really good. Try this. Try it again. Oh, it's so good. I could eat that for a ribeye. Is it as tender? We'll see. I'll let you know my thoughts in a minute. Our Denver steak. Let's see where we're at with that. Ooh, yeah. It's a little on the, kind of on the rare side, but you know what? It's fine for me. I had a little piece to it. Still good. I think you could so serve this, and I don't think it would be bad at all. Yeah, that right there. A little rare. A little tougher. The Denver steak, but it's all good. It's really good. This little piece right here has my name. I nailed that one. Talk about just flavor. So beefy, what you could expect from a chuck roll. It's not quite as tender. Now, if you got maybe a prime grade or something, I think I actually like the flavor of that Denver steak. Maybe better than the chuck eye. Was really, really good. You could probably maybe go prime grade or something like that, but I mean, we're saving $10 a pound here, y'all. I went to the grocery store. The Denver steak, $9.49. Chuck roll or chuck eye, $9.99. Ribeye was $19.99 a pound. Guys, that's crazy. That is crazy. We used to get them for like $4.99, $5.99 for ribeye. So give these two a try as an alternative. I think your family will enjoy them. Hey, I appreciate you watching. There might be some bloopers after this, so stay on tight. I appreciate you watching. Love you. It's pretty good. The dog, this dog. Maggie, go lay down. Goodness gracious, dog. Poor thing. She's wanting to bite so badly, she's ready to sabotage the set. Gracious sakes alive, girl. Well, I hope the dog don't try to sabotage me again. Oh, super good. How about you? All right, Maggie, it's time for yours. You ready? Good girl. You about to knock my camera over. Here. All right, good girl. All right, go be a good girl.